Okay, this is MTG Buddha again today. Today, I think I'm going to do a little bit of historic Brawl. I talked about possibly doing that the other day, and I think that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go in and look at the deck first, um, kind of show you what we're working with on this deck. So let's go in here. All right, so of course Teferi is going to be our commander. This Teferi is great. I mean, you get to draw cards, untap lands, you get to put lands in the other person's deck. If you get the emblem, which is awesome when you get that, whenever you draw a card, you exile a permanent your opponent controls, and they don't get to choose it. You get to choose it, which is good. You can just start getting rid of all their stuff. You can get rid of their lands so they can't even play spells. It's great. Um, we have, of course, there's only one copy of everything because this is essentially Commander. One-on-one Commander is basically what this is. Um, Creatures your opponent control enter battlefield tapped. Whenever they play a creature, I gain a life. Source of Plowshares, great spell. Exile on a creature. Brainstorm, great spell. Get you draw cards. Opt, draw cards. This one right here, basically I get to investigate, which means I can draw a card later when I want to and have free mana. It's an instant, so if there's a turn where I get to the end of their turn, I have nothing to do, and I have one blue left, I can always just do it. And then later in the game, if I want to, I can flash it back to get two more. All right, so removal gets rid of a creature and a planeswalker. Well, creature or planeswalker, not and. Anticipate. It's going to let me order my draws, be able to draw a card. Deliberate. I get to again scry. Get to draw a card. Counterspell. Counterspell lets me set up my draws for the turn, and if I get seven cards in the graveyard, this flips and then lets me go find cards. Because it's you get to go find a non-land, non-creature card, and as you will see in this deck, is not really a creature deck. Um, this one right here lets me go get two cards. Uh, Again, counterspell. This will counters activated abilities, triggered abilities, and legendary spells. So it won't counter like just a normal creature that they're casting or something like that. But it will counter like if they have something on something on the battlefield, and like let's say they have a Teferi Planeswalker as well, and they've got eight. They're getting ready to do the ultimate, and they take the counters off of it. You could cast this and counter that ability, so they wouldn't get that emblem. Um, so it's there's some cool things you can do with that card. So we got counterspell again. This one copies an instant or sorcery, and you return it to its owner's hand, and then you can choose a new target. So I mean, if they cast an instant or sorcery that I really like, I can be like, you know what, I want that card. Take it. Puts the card back in their hand, but then I get a copy of it. Yeah. Dovin's Veto, Counterspell, and they can't counter it if I'm playing another control deck. Then it's really good the fact that they can't counter my Counterspell. Banishing Light, I get to exile something. Same thing here, borrow time. This freezes things down, and the basically it's an arrest spell, but or a pacifism, if you will. But unlike a lot of them, it's not just enchant creature; it's enchant permanent. And the cool thing on this one is you can enchant a planeswalker, and then they can't activate the loyalty abilities on the planeswalker. So a lot of I've played against some people when this was actually in draft and stuff, and they would have planeswalkers, and I would put it on their planeswalker, and they'd be like, "What do you mean I can't activate my abilities?" I'm like, "You can't activate your abilities because they're not mana abilities." So it's a fun little interaction. You can put it on pretty much anything. You can put it on any permanent. I mean, you could put it on a land if you wanted to, but I mean, I don't know why you would unless the land had some kind of, really good ability. As foretold, one of my favorite cards in this deck. I love this card. This card's so much fun. My favorite thing in this to do in this deck is to turn three, play as foretold, and pass the turn. Because when I untap the next turn, at the beginning of your upkeep, you put a time counter on as foretold, and then once each turn, you may pay zero rather than the mana cost of the spell with mana value of the number of counters on this or not. So like the first, like played on turn 3, turn 4 you untap, you could play any one of these 1 mana spells over here for free on your turn and on their turn. So if it's an instant, if you had like 2 1 mana instants in your hand, you could play one for free on your turn, untap, go to their turn, play one for free on their turn. The next turn you get 2 counters. You could play a 2 mana spell or less for free. A 3 mana spell the next turn, 4 mana spell, and basically you're getting free mana and free spells out of this card, and it's awesome. I love it. It makes it so you can do so many more things, and it's just a lot of fun, especially in combination with Teferi, who untaps your lands as well. So like you can play spells for free with this. You can play spells, untap lands with Teferi, and then have mana available to cast a spell and a free spell. And there's plenty of ways to draw cards in this deck. You're not going to run out of cards in this deck. This lets me go either get a land and a spell, or 2 spells, depending on if I don't have any lands in hand. This one lets me go get two lands, and it makes it so that I have no maximum hand size. And like I said, there's plenty of ways to draw cards in this deck. Clear the Mind shuffles my graveyard back into my library and draws me a card, which is great because, like I said, a lot of ways to draw cards in this deck. So you're not going to mill yourself out because you're going to shuffle it in, and then you're going to go and start all over again. Midnight Clock, same thing here. Midnight Clock, it's a mana rock with an added ability. If I get to end of turns and end of my opponent's turn and he doesn't have anything to do, I can put another counter on this. When it hits 12, I shuffle my graveyard and my hand into my library and draw 7 new cards. So it's great. Another way to shuffle my deck into my library. Counterspell, and it makes a card cost 1 less from my hand. A lot of times it doesn't do anything, the second part, because of the fact that a lot of times I wind up countering like their planeswalker or their commander, and their commander's a creature, and more than likely I'm not going to have a creature in my hand, as you will see as we go farther in this deck. I do have Brazen Borrower, which is a creature. It is one of only 2 creatures in this deck, and it is not in this deck because it is a creature. It is in this deck because it bounces a spell, and yeah, it bounces something to its opponent's hand. That's basically why it's in here. If I play it as a creature, oh well, okay, fine. It'll probably die, and then it'll get shuffled back into my library at some point. This is where we hit the counterspell section of the deck. So we got cancel, counterspell. Didn't say please, counterspell. Disallow, counterspell. It also counters activated and triggered abilities, like Tail's End. Naturalize is counterspell. Saw it coming, counterspell. Sinister Sabotage, counterspell, plus Swiss Surveil. Thought Collapse, counterspell. Archmage's Charm, counterspell. Or I can draw cards, or I can gain control of something that he has that costs 1 or less. Counterspell and gain life. Draw X cards, gain X life. Great thing to do at the end of your opponent's turn with a lot of mana open. Great thing. Love it. Smothering Tithe. If you play Commander in paper, you definitely know this card. Because pretty much every white deck I think plays this card. Your opponent either pays 2 mana whenever they draw a card, or you get to make a treasure token. So it just gives me more mana. Day of Judgment. Kill everything. Sell the wreckage. Exile everything. They get to go get lands out of their deck, but I still exiled all their creatures that attacked. Wrath of God. Destroy all creatures. Behold the Multiverse. I get to scry. Go get draw cards. Kindred Denial. I get to counter a spell and go get a card out of my library. Draw extra cards. Fairy Time Raveler. Of course, this isn't as good as the original version because this is the remastered where they supposedly fixed Teferi. But your opponents can't cast spells during your turn, so they can't counter anything I do on my turn. So I don't have to worry about, if I'm playing another control deck, them countering anything. I can +1 it to be able to cast my sorceries, which most of my spells are instants, but I do have some sorceries, but I could do this, and like I could Day of Judgment them on their turn. Get rid of all their creatures after they, cast a couple creatures. I can return a creature, an artifact, or an enchantment to its owner's hand and draw a card. So I can bounce one of their creatures or something to their hand to draw a card with it, or I could bounce one of my own things to my hand to draw a card with it. Teferi, who slows time. Like I said, this is a Teferi Brawl deck, so we got three Teferis in here. I considered playing a fourth Teferi, but I wound up taking him out just because it was a little too much Teferi. But yeah, this one just has several abilities that are useful. They're not super amazing, but like if I can get to the ultimate, that's where the ultimate is good because I get an emblem and I get to untap all my permanents during my opponent's untap step, and I get to draw a card during his draw step. So it basically just gives me all my mana on my turn, all my mana on his turn, and draws me an extra card on his turn. Um, so another board wipe, destroy all creatures, or I can destroy all their artifacts and enchantments. Another board wipe. This one exiles a permanent, draws cards. This one's going to draw me an extra card, plus I can get a free spell out of it. And in this deck, it's not going to be that hard for me to get to 7 cards in hand. Um, Jace, Unraveler of Secrets, I get to scry and draw, or I get to bounce a creature. If I get the emblem's great. Counter the first spell my opponent casts each turn. Um, Oath of Teferi, since I have a lot of planeswalkers in this deck, gotta play Oath of Teferi. When it enters the battlefield, I get to exile another permanent and return it to the battlefield under my controller's next beginning of end step. I get to activate my planeswalkers twice. So if I have Teferi, any of the Teferis out, I get to activate the Teferis twice, so I get double the value. And same thing with Jace. Um, Time wipe, it's a board wipe. Very rarely is the second part going to do anything for me. Bouncing a creature back to my hand. Like I said, Brazen Borrowers is good with this because I get to bounce it back to my hand, then they play something and I can bounce it again. So let's see. So Soon's Intervention. This is one of the newer ones that I've added to the deck here recently. You can choose all these abilities if you want to. You can choose just one of them. 6 mana is a lot, but there's a lot of value in this. I can make two creatures. I can go get a card with mana 3 or less, and as you can see, vast majority of my deck is 3 mana or less. Destroy an artifact, I can destroy an enchantment, and I can gain 3 life. And gaining life a lot of times in control decks is kind of important because you use your life total as a resource because you're letting them attack while you build up and get your mana so that you can just wipe their board. Then we've got another way to destroy all non-land permanents. So sad thing is it gets rid of my non-land permanents too, but sometimes you just got to reset the board. Shark Typhoon, great card. Vast majority of my deck is non-creature spells because, like I said, it's only 2 creatures in the whole deck. So if this does hit the battlefield, I start getting all kinds of flying sharks. So now here's the second creature, Torrential Gearhulk. Love this card, so much fun. When he enters the battlefield, he has flash, so he can enter on his opponent's turn. I can use him to cast an instant or sorcery from my graveyard without paying its mana cost. Fun thing to do with him is to cast him and use him to play Time Wipe, bouncing him back to your hand and sweeping their board. Yeah. The sad thing is that the instant that you cast that way does get exiled, so you can't do it a second time. But it is still a way that you can get 2 triggers out of this. It's a lot of fun. So Vanquish the Horde, another way to destroy all creatures. Omniscience, just get to cast all your spells for free, so you don't have to worry about your mana. Um, yeah, so that's basically the deck. We've got a bunch of different just value type lands to go along with all of the basics and stuff. But that's the deck. We're going to go in and play a couple games. The win condition of this deck is basically annoy my opponent until they quit. That's basically how this deck wins. I think I've only won 2 games ever playing this deck where I actually did damage to my opponent. Vast majority of the time, they just concede, which is what this deck is designed to do. It's not designed to kill you, to kill your life total. It's designed to kill your soul. That's what it's designed to do. It's just designed to drag you down and make you go, oh, why did I do this? Why am I playing? I just want to quit. That's what it's designed to do. So we'll see if it actually does that or not. So this should be kind of interesting. We'll see what happens. Depending on how quick the games go, we might play 2 or 3 games. If people concede really early, which I do have happen, especially if it's like Turn 2 they play something and I counter it. Turn 3 they play something and I counter it. Turn 4 they play something and I counter it. I've had people just be like, all right, I'm done, and they quit at that point. They're just like, yeah, I'm not doing this. So if we have that happen a few times, we might play more games. If the games go a little longer, just kind of depends. Um, we'll see where we're at, but if we can find a opponent, there might not be anybody wanting to play Historic Brawl right now. But if you haven't ever played Brawl, like I said before, is basically Commander. Well, Historic Brawl is basically Commander. It's been a while since I played regular Brawl. I don't know if it's still 60 cards. It used to be a 60 card for regular Brawl, and then when they added Historic Brawl, it was a 100 card. So it's basically Commander, but 1-on-1, which I like because I would much rather play Commander 1-on-1. I hate multiplayer. Multiplayer is the worst. Yeah, we're gonna keep this hand. This is not like the greatest hand that you could ever have, but I have 3 lands, which is good. I have 2 spells in my hand I could play right away, and Search for Escanta is probably the best turn 2 play that I can make because it's going to let me scry at the beginning of my upkeep and set up my draws. So we are snap keeping this. I will play Skybridge Towers as my number 1 play because it's going to enter battlefield tap, so we'll just go ahead and play that. That's going to enter tap, so we're not going to play it. We're going to go ahead and play this, and we're going to cast Search for Escanta and hope he doesn't have some kind of 2-mana counterspell. Luckily, he didn't. So now next turn, it just kind of becomes a question of what I want to play. We'll keep that on top because I've got a lot of lands already. I'm not needing to look for a land. I think I'm going to go ahead and play Hallowed Fountain, and we're going to pay the 2 so that I have the counterspell available and pass turn, which is going to basically signal to this guy, if he's paying attention, that I have a counterspell in hand, which I'm going to go ahead and use because I don't want him getting his Planeswalker online. And if you haven't ever played Brawl, the fact that this is his commander, he can now put it back in the command zone, but it now costs 2 more mana. We're going to keep that on top as well. It will now cost him 2 additional mana to play that spell. So instead of it costing 4, he can't play it again until he has 6 mana. So we're going to go ahead and pass turn here. Next turn, we've got another land to play next turn. Of course, it's going to enter tapped. So we'll see what he plays. Okay, so he's going to make me discard a card, which is fine. In that case, I will discard... We'll discard Banishing Light. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Because like I said, there are 2 ways in my deck to reshuffle my graveyard into my library. You know what? I want to go in and get this on the line, and I'm not too worried about that right now. So I'm going to throw this in the graveyard and see if I can find an untapped land. Ah, nice. Alright, so it enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. I control 2 or more other lands. So I can play this, and I can now play this card, which is going to let me draw extra cards during my draw step. I'm going to draw 2 cards next turn. And I get to pick a card here to play for free when I hit 7 cards in hand. And I am going to pick As Foretold because I love that card. So, as I discussed earlier, that is a great card. I love it. And then I have not actually played against this card. What does it do? Okay, so until your next turn, whenever a creature attacks you or Tosh, put a -1/-1 counter. That's not going to affect me because I ain't got creatures. Target opponent puts a creature card of their choice from their graveyard on the battle. Okay, yeah, that's fine. We will keep this Teferi on top. We'll draw a second card. We will play a land. And then we are going to play this. And we're going to exile this chick. Yep. And then we'll pass turn. He's going to put it back in his command zone. And so now it's going to cost him 8 mana to play that card. So he won't be able to play it this turn. Oh, Jenga Taxis. That's horrible. That's going to stink for me. We'll put that in the graveyard. So I got a counterspell, and I got that. Alright, so what does this do? So this counters instant sorceries and artifacts. It does not counter non-creature spells. So I could cast this. Or, can he be countered? Yes, he can be countered. So actually what I'm going to do is cast Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. And I'm going to minus Teferi putting him back up there. So he's going back in the library. He can't cast him this next turn. He's going to be able to attack and kill my Teferi, which is fine. I can recast my Teferi. So I will take that action. That is fine. I am okay with that. So I'm going to draw 2 cards. And the cool thing is here, I'm going to have 7 cards in hand, which means I get to cast Ask for Told for free. Right? Isn't it? Uh, draw a card, then if you have... Oh, 9 or more. I thought it was 7 or more. Okay, well, it's 9 or more, though. That's not quite what I thought then. I think I'm just going to pass turn. Yeah, we're going to pass turn. Because he's going to draw Jin, and I want to be able to counter Jin. How many mana is Jin? 7. I don't have anything that costs 7 in my deck. So, if he casts Jin, I'll go ahead and counter Jin. He didn't even bother casting Jin. So, the question is, do I want to do this? How many mana do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, I could do this for 4. And that's what I'm going to do. Because that will allow me to get up to 9 cards next turn and be able to play Ask for Told for free. We will keep that on top. It's fine. Draw a card. Draw a card. I will play this for free. Play a land. Let's play this land. Question becomes now, what do I do here? I think... So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 cards in hand, so if I go to end step, I would have to discard 3 cards. What would I want to discard? I'd probably discard this. Probably discard the land and... I don't know. Tell you what, I might go ahead and play this Teferi here. Yeah, let's go ahead and play this Teferi. And the question is, do I want to plus him? I think I do want to plus him. So I can cast sorceries, because I do have this is a sorcery and this is a sorcery. So I think we just go to end step and I have to discard 2. So I will discard this and this. We'll discard the 2 lands. And then we're going to see what happens here. I have enough mana to counter things. So if he casts, he's only going to be able to cast Jin or this. One of the 2. So we'll see which one he tries to cast. Because I will counter either of them. Okay, so he's going for Jin. So I'm going to just use this counterspell on Jin. Because I don't want to have to deal with Jin Gataxias again. Because that messes up my whole plan, countering my first instant or sorcery. We'll keep it, it's fine, I don't care. We'll transform it, because that's what I really want to do with that card. Draw an extra card. Now we'll play a land. We'll do this to have sorceries. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 cards in hand. The question is, do I want to go ahead and play this? It would cost 6. I would have 3 mana available. I could play him for 7. I think I'm just going to pass turn and not do anything at this point. We're going to see what he does. We're just going to be reactive at this point. So he casts that. It would make me discard a card. I really don't care, although I could do this and go get a 2 mana card out of my deck. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I counter it, and I get to go get a 2 mana card from my deck into my hand. Narset's Reversal, that's great. I'll take that. So, he is tapped out now, so we're going to Narset's Reversal. I'm going to get a copy of that spell and make him mill. God, that's so great. Yeah, that was fun. I like that. Okay, we're gonna pass, go to end step, and then we're gonna activate. Oh no, he's gonna attack me first. I forgot about that. Do I want to exile his creature? No, we'll let Teferi take the one. That's fine. So now, I think we're just gonna cast this instead of activating that because we'll get two things in. Yeah. So I now have two counters on this, so I can play two mana spells for free. It's gonna enter untapped. We will +1. I'm gonna go ahead and play Shark Typhoon. I think. Yeah, we'll go ahead and play Shark Typhoon. It's fine. And then we're gonna pass turn, so I can start making sharks. I haven't even really had to rely on this Teferi this time, so he's gonna cast that again. And I'm actually gonna just cast this one so that he can't counter it back, and I get to cast it with As Foretold, so it's free, and I get a 2/2. And then he concedes, of course. Like I said, that is what this deck is designed to do. It is designed to just wear you down and make you regret even clicking play. So that worked out great. That's exactly how this deck is meant to be. There's lots of ways you could build around that idea. I mean, you could build the deck a lot of different ways. I could change some things out in it, and it would still be super annoying. But this is the way I like it. I went through and picked out like the cards I liked the best. There's a couple cards in here that like I could see changing, like the one mana that lets you make an investigate and you can flashback for 4 and get 2 investigates. And then that newer card that's 6 mana. I could see replacing that card with Jin Gataxius. I've considered it, but at the same time, I mean, I have two creatures in my deck, and my deck isn't meant to win that way. But it is something I have considered, and I might actually do that at some point. But right now, I feel like this is a really good version of the deck. And as you saw, I have ways to deal with Jin-Gataxias because, I can cast a Planeswalker and bounce it and then counter it when it comes down. Um, the worst thing is, like, if somebody has, like, a hexproof or indestructible creature. I mean, I don't have as many ways to get rid of indestructibles. Hexproof, I have ways to get rid of because I can just wipe the board. But and then I can always, recycle all my spells by shuffling my graveyard back into my library. And then, as you saw, draw plenty of cards that in this deck. So, as long as I don't get screwed on my lands, I'm going to draw a lot of cards. So, let's see. My opponent's going first. I have 3 lands. I have this Teferi. I have this, and I think that's good. I think I'll keep this. I draw one more land. I can play this Teferi. If you cast instant sorcery, I have this available. I can go get 2 more cards if I want to. Yeah, we'll keep it. I'll probably play both of the blue lands first right now, the way things look. So let's see who was his. Let's see, Goshen Tai. Oh, this is gonna be a shrine deck. This could be really annoying. I actually want to build this deck with the shrines because I like shrines. Shrines are fun. So I'm interested to see how this goes because this could be really bad for me if he starts getting his shrines out really quick. But yeah, this could be interesting. So is this instant? Yeah, it's an instant. So we'll save that for end of his turn if I need to. And now I kind of hope he plays a green land here and casts Cultivate because if he does, I get to do this. Oh, he didn't play green land, so that's why I was really hoping him to play a green land, Cultivate, and try to go get a couple lands, and then me in response do that and just like be like, haha, I get the lands, not you. So we're gonna do this. So put a card into your library. What do I want to put in my library? Um, I think I put. I think I put this in my library. Yeah. Alright, so we'll play a land. And now the question is, do I want to go ahead and do this? I think I do. We'll go ahead and do the clock. So next turn I can play this land, and if I need to, I could always destroy creatures, or I can play Teferi on turn 4. So that's what I'm looking to do is potentially the reason for playing this is to be able to play Teferi on turn 4. Get Teferi out a turn early, and he is missing lands. That this could bode very well for me here because he is not hitting lands. So we're going to play Teferi. We're going to draw a card, be able to untap 2 lands at the end of my turn, and more than likely it's going to be the blue lands. Yep, we're going to untap both these blue lands. So now if he casts a instant or sorcery, I get to copy it. Okay, it's not an instant or sorcery, but it is a creature. So I'm going to choose to draw a card again. I'm going to play a land. Let's see, and I think I do this, and I'm going to return this to his hand and draw a card. Let's see, I have 2 mana. I'm going to have to discard something at the end of turn. Yeah, it's fine. I'll discard something. Let's see, I'll untap this, and I will discard this land. That's fine. Alright, so we're at 5 counters. We're counting down to midnight. He's probably expecting me to have a counterspell, which I don't. Uh, yeah, that's fine. He's going to get rid of this Teferi. And I think I'm actually going to decline. I'm going to let it go to that exile zone. Because next turn, let's see, is this... Oh, it's a permanent you control. Yeah, so I'm going to just go ahead and put it back up here. It's fine. So we'll go back to my turn. So the fact that he's not hitting lands is really messing this Shrine deck up. Because the Shrine deck really needs... It really needs the lands. Alright, so we'll play this. We're going to... I think I play this. Yeah, we'll play this. So let's see what I get for free. I could get this one or this one. I think I would rather have this Jace, potentially. So we'll go to end step. I have Narset's Reversible available if I need, because Midnight Clock is a blue mana rock. So he now has no hand size. Alright, so yeah, I can't counter that. Can't counter that. Go back to my turn. We're now at 8. Draw a card. Draw another card. Let's see. Is it... Let's see. Then if you have 9 or more... So it's only after my draw step, I believe. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do I have sorceries? I do have sorceries. So we will plus... And then I think I'm going to do this because I have 8 cards in hand. So, yeah. And then we're just going to end turn and see what happens. If he wants to attack the fairy, that's fine. Attack fairy. So he could cast this now if he wants. Of course, if he does, I can counter it. See, does it do anything when it enters the battlefield? Question is, do I counter this? I might actually want to counter that. You know what? No, we're not going to counter that. It's fine. This, I do want to counter. Yeah, we will counter that. That's fine. That's fine. I don't care. I'll let the fairy take 2, and then I'm going to sacrifice this to draw a card. So that I can cast my Jace for free next turn. So 8, 9, and now I get to cast Jace for free. Alright, so we will scry 1 and draw. I've already got a land for this turn, so we'll put that on bottom. Draw. We will +1. Let's play a land. Um, do I borrowed time? I think I borrowed time. So we'll go borrowed time, and we'll do that there. And then I'm going to foretell this. I still have too many cards in hand, but that's okay. Go to end step. Okay, I don't have too many cards in hand, so we're good. Do I have any counter spells? I do not have any counter spells, but I do have Narset's Reversal. It's an enchantment, so I'm not really going to be able to do anything to that. Let's see, I have 3 mana available. That's fine. I'm going to wipe the board next turn anyway. That's fine. I don't care. The board's going to get wiped in a minute anyway. Oh, and we're going to actually... I don't know if the board's going to get wiped, because this is going to get shuffled back in. Yeah, my hand's going to get shuffled back into my library. And I don't have the mana to board wipe this turn. Yeah, that's... I'm hoping I draw a board wipe when I draw again. Yeah. So this is going to flip. Did I get a board wipe? I did not get a board wipe. Okay, but I get to draw 2 more cards. Okay. And I get to scry and draw from this. Let's put that on the bottom because I want to draw a board wipe. It's not a board wipe. It's +1 this. Let's play... this. We'll go ahead and... let's go ahead and brainstorm. Okay, we'll put this and this on top. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I think I do this to scry too. We'll put both of those on the bottom. Alright, we're going to pass. So I gotta discard 2 cards. We'll discard this and this. So I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana available. So I do have a counter spell. It stinks that I did not get a removal spell when I had 3 removal spells in hand. If I'd drawn a board wipe off of that, I think he would have probably conceded, because he would have had to just restart everything. But I still, at the end of... so I'm going to get to scry 2, draw 2. I'm going to get to look at the top 3, put 1 in my hand. So I'm going to get to cycle through a bunch of cards and try to find a board wipe. I'm still at 25. I mean, and he's probably going to attack some of my creatures. Or, I mean, some of my planeswalkers. So that's going to hit. He's going to take... what is he going to take? He's going to take the Jace. Which I would have liked to got the ultimate on Jace. That would have been fun. But... I tell you what, we're going to go and counter that Shrine, because I don't want him drawing extra cards. So we will counter that. So I'm not going to get to cycle through a bunch of cards. He's going to send one of these at my Teferi, kill the Teferi. Alright. I'm at 21. Draw 2 cards. Okay, so that's good. I like that. We're going to play this land. Now, I think I just passed turn here. What else in my graveyard? Okay, yeah, I think I just passed turn here. So he's going to get to add mana. That's fine. do these get hexproof from? Shroud. Why does it have Shroud? Alright, so he's going to try to do that, which is an activate ability, so I can't do anything about that. He's going to copy that ability. Yeah, that happens. I can't do anything about that. So he gets to bring two things back. Okay. Yeah. Alright. So I have 8, 9, I have 9 mana, so I can do this for 6 at the end of turn, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw 6, gain 6, and hope that I find the Destroy All Enchantments or Exile All Enchantments card. Alright, so we're going to do this for 6. 5, 6. Auto pay. Let's draw 6 cards. And then I'm going to draw 2 more on my upkeep. So I'm drawing 8 cards. Assuming he doesn't have a counterspell. And his 1 card in hand. Where are all of his enchantments getting hexproof from? That's ridiculous. Okay, let's see. What did I draw? Alright, so I do have a Destroy All Creatures. Yeah, so we're going to have to just go ahead and do that. Let's destroy all creatures. Let's see, which land am I going to play? Yeah, it's fine. He has nothing to put counters on, so we will play, let's see, this one. Artifact, creature, enchantment, or planeswalker to its owner's hand. Yeah, okay. We'll play this one. And we're going to just pass turn, and I'm going to have to discard 5 cards. Alright, so we are going to discard this, 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 this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I gotta discard 1 more card. I think I discard this. Yeah. Okay. So we'll keep all those cards in hand. So now he's gonna drain me. Or oh, he's gonna make me discard. That's right. I forgot that's what that card does. That sucks. So I gotta discard 3 cards again. So let's discard this, this, and this. That stinks. I was thinking that was the gain or the you lose life on. That's yeah. Okay. So we're gonna counter that. And if he goes to end step, let's see. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do this. Scry 2, draw 2. We will bottom that. We'll do this. I still don't know where all of his creatures or enchantments are getting shroud from. Oh, that's where that comes from. Okay. Well, we're gonna get rid of that. Draw another card. Come on. Alright, so we're gonna play this. We are going to, I think I'm going to go ahead and just do this, because that's the obvious best thing to do, because now I can play everything for free. This lets me destroy enchantment. Yep. So we will do this for 0. We're going to make 2/2s. We're going to seek. We're going to destroy artifact, enchantment. Let's see, is there an artifact? Yeah, there is an artifact. So, and gain 3 life. So, destroy target artifact. We're going to destroy that. Destroy target enchantment. We're going to destroy that. Let's see. Target player, which one is this? Um, yeah, will target me. Okay. Then I am going to, let's see, I'm going to cast this for 0. Cast this for 0. Getting rid of this. Draw a card. Or scry then draw. So we'll do that. Can I cast him for free? No, I have to actually pay mana for him because he's a commander. Let's see. Alright, we're going to cast this for free. And we're going to recast this. And we're going to do... I don't think he has any artifacts for me to get rid of at this point. No. Okay, so we're going to do all those except for the artifact. Yeah. So, target enchantment, we're going to get rid of that. Target player. Let it resolve. We'll cast Ash Foretold for 0. We'll cast this for 0. Getting rid of this so that he can't draw cards. This... Yeah, that's fine. And we'll end turn. Alright, so let's see how this goes. We now have lots of things going. Let's see, what does this second one do? I don't even remember. Non-creature spells. Okay, so yeah. Okay, that's fine. I don't care. That's fine. That's fine. I don't care. So you can kill my Gear Hulk. That's fine. I was going to kill one of the 2/2s. Okay. That's fine as well. Draw 2. Alright. Let's go ahead and play a land. Let's cast the Teferi. Because I actually have to pay mana for him. We will plus the Teferi. So I can draw 2 cards. We will cast this for free. Resolve. Sure, I'll keep those. That's fine. We'll cast this for free. Oh, nope, I don't want to cycle that. Cancel. I want to cast it for free. There we go. Let's go ahead and cast this with its alternate cost. We'll do that. So I got a 3/3. Let's go ahead and go to combat. We'll attack. We'll leave him back because he can't actually do any damage. So let's do that. What are all the options on this? Okay, yeah. Yeah, we're good with that. I'll untap 2 lands. So let's untap this and this. Alright, that's fine. Alright, so we are going to counter that with the alternate casting cost. And we're going to go get a card out of our deck. So let's see what we seek. We find Smothering Tithe. Nice. So he can kill something. He kills one of my... Alright, one of my sharks are dead. That's fine. And I'm going to go ahead and just draw 2 cards. Yeah. I'm going to draw 2. So I'll draw an extra card. Draw a card. Draw another card. We'll put a loyalty counter. So let's plus. Draw 2 cards. Oh yeah, that's good. So we will Oath of Teferi for free. And we will exile the Gear Hulk, getting it back at the end step, which will let me cast another spell for free. We're going to plus Teferi, drawing 2 more cards. I'm going to have so many cards in my hand, it's not even going to be funny. Let's return this so that I get that Teferi back. Let's play a land. Let's go to combat. Let's just go to combat first and we'll attack. Let's play this for free. Let's play, well, get a hold of it. Too many cards in my hand. Oh, so many cards. All the cards. Every card there is. Any other cards I want to play this turn? Yeah, let's just go ahead and play this. That's fine. I can resolve. That resolves. Go ahead and do this from the graveyard. It's fine. That resolves. That resolves. We'll +1 this chase. Doesn't really matter. We're just drawing tons of cards here anyway. +1 this chase. Draw 2 more cards. How many cards are in my library right now? I have 31 cards in my library. That's fine. Let's see. We'll +1 this. In turn, I'm going to have to discard so many cards, aren't I? Oh yeah, I get to untap 2 more lands. Let's go. Does he have anything mana value 1? No, he doesn't. You know what? I think I just do this and get rid of this. Yeah. Let that resolve. Yep. And of course, I have no maximum hand size because, let's see, where's that? This card, right? No. I have no maximum hand size from something. Oh yeah, it's from this. Yeah. Okay, so we are going to counter that. Alternate casting costs. Resolve. This is just going to be ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know why this guy hasn't just conceded at this point. It's like, what do you think you're going to do at this point that is going to get you out of this? I mean, I have like 50 million cards in hand. You have no creatures, and I'm making a creature for every spell you cast that I counter. So, what exactly do you think you're going to do? Let's see. Do I want to? Yeah, we're going to go ahead and opt while we're at it. We'll let that resolve. Is there anything else in my hand I want to play this turn? No. Bottom. So I'm going to draw 2. Yep, there we go. Alright, we're going to go to our draw step. And on our draw step, I get to draw even more cards. So now, do you want to give me a treasure token? Alright, so let's put that in the graveyard. Transform. Draw 2. well, 3. Um, we are going to, we're just going to attack. Screw it. I'm not going to be that guy and activate all my planeswalkers. We're just going to kill him. Just, just get it done. I've been mean enough already. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that could have went very differently if he had had Greenlands early. But at the same time, if he had had Greenlands early, I had Narset's reversal in hand and was going to basically counter his go find lands, and I was going to go find more lands and make him have to cast his spell to go find lands multiple times. So yeah, so that is basically what this deck does. It just dirtles and annoys people until they want to concede. That guy just refused to concede though. Like I have to give that guy props for not conceding, because if I was playing against a Shrine deck and playing in that situation, I would have conceded way earlier. I would have just been like, yeah, I'm done. That's no. So yeah, I have to give him props for not conceding. We will give him props for that. Let's see what we get out of this pack we got. Um, the fact that he did not concede, I think that's pretty big. Yeah, because I would have totally conceded. I don't know if you would have or not, but yeah, I would have conceded. Super annoying deck. It's so much fun to play. If you haven't ever played Brawl, I suggest playing Historic Brawl. Go in and build a deck. You can build any kind of deck you want, whatever you want to play. You can, if you want to build a mono red deck, build a mono red deck. I would recommend Hazoret as a commander for mono red. Like I actually like Hazoret. She's fun. She basically just makes you want to empty your hand out so that you can play her and attack with her. Um, but yeah, if I built a mono red deck, it would be Hazoret. But you can build monocolor decks, you can build 3 color decks, you can build 5 color decks, you can just whatever you decide you want to do, go in, just build something and have fun. I mean, Brawl is a really fun, like, if Commander wasn't played multiplayer, I would probably like Commander more, which is why I actually like Brawl, because as I said, do not like multiplayer. I think multiplayer is horrible. And part of the reason I think multiplayer is horrible is because whenever I play multiplayer, uh, everyone at the table usually is just like, oh, yeah, we're going to kill you first because we don't want to have to deal with you. So it's really annoying, and I don't like doing it. Yeah, so if Commander was 1-on-1, I would totally be down for it, which is why I am down to play Historic Brawl. And like I said, right now, the only Brawl deck I think I have built on here is the Historic Brawl Teferi Brawl deck. I might try to build a regular Brawl deck and see what's going on with that, because I think that's just cards that are available in Standard, and I believe it's a 60 card deck. Same rules as Commander or as Brawl. Your cards all have to have the same colors that are on your Commander. Um, so it would only be things that are available in Standard if you do the regular Brawl, and I believe it's 60 cards. But I haven't played regular Brawl for quite a while. When they added Historic Brawl, I just went straight to that because it's, like to say, it's a 100 card format, and I wanted to build something around Teferi because I like that Teferi card. And there's other Teferis, so play more Teferis. I don't know if we're going to get a new Teferi in this next set, because I'm expecting another Teferi, because in Dominaria United, that is my prediction of one of the Planeswalkers, because of the fact that, if I'm not mistaken, Teferi is from Dominaria. That's his home plane, I believe. I'm not the most up to date on the lore. The lore is not like my biggest thing, but I'm pretty sure he is from the plane of Dominaria. So I would be surprised if we do not get another Teferi in this next set for Dominaria United. And if we don't get one in Dominaria United, if I'm not mistaken, they said there's going to be 3 or 4 sets that are all going to take place on Dominaria, because I think we've got Dominaria United, and then I think we have the Brothers War after that. And I think they said there's another 1 or 2 sets that are going to be all on Dominaria. So, yeah, so I'm expecting, if this set doesn't have Teferi, the next set more than likely will have a Teferi, because I don't see how they can not do a Teferi when they're in Dominaria, or Dominaria, however you want to say it. But yeah, so that was my historic brawl deck. We played a couple games. That one game went a lot longer, um, but than I thought it would. But you can see how it runs. The the deck is basically designed just to annoy people. That's all it's designed to do. It's not designed to win by attacking. Although I did win that game by attacking, but it was because the guy didn't concede. He refused to concede, and that is why I won by attacking. Because I honestly think 95% of people probably or more would have conceded instead of letting me attack them and kill them. But yeah, so you can kind of see the premise of the deck. It's basically counter their spells, kill their things, draw cards, and annoy them until they quit. But yeah, so that was my Teferi deck. If you want to build one, build one. You don't have to build it exactly the way I do. There's a lot of things that you could change out in here, but I mean, if you're playing blue, you want to play counter spells. So, yeah. So, Omniscience is a great card to have in your deck. Like you said, like you saw in that last game, once I played it, I mean, things just went bonkers because I was playing everything for free. You do still have to pay mana to play cards that are not in your hand because you get to cast cards from your hand without paying their mana costs. So your commander you still have to pay mana for. If you foretell something, you still have to pay mana for that. If you flashback something, you still have to pay mana for that. So you wouldn't necessarily get to play everything for free, but you would have your mana available for everything after that. But yeah, so if you want to build a commander, a brawl deck, a Teferi brawl deck, or any other kind of brawl deck, build it. Have a lot of fun. It's a fun format. And thanks for listening and watching. Like and subscribe, and come back and watch some more videos. Hopefully, we'll do another video or two, maybe today or tomorrow. I'm not sure. I might do another draft or try to build some other kind of standard deck, or I might build another brawl deck. I don't know. But if I do build another deck, I think I might actually do the build process on here. I'm not big on net decking. That's one of the reasons I don't play constructed in paper. So if I do build it, I'll sit here and kind of go through the build process. But um, so like I said, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and see you next time.